Greetings and welcome once again to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel, and today I'm going to talk about something called the mythical real number. In other words, things that the retards of mainstream mathematics community consider to be real numbers. Things like pi, square root 2, e, and stuff like that. So one of the things they love to do is they love to look at Cauchy sequences or classes of Cauchy sequences as a definition of a number. And I reject that. In fact, I dismiss it as garbage because that's what it is. And I'll explain to you in a moment why it's garbage. So, with all that behind us, let's begin. Now, um, the sequence 3, 3.1, 3.14, etc., is one of the many sequences of the class that supposedly defines pi, the constant pi. There are many others in terms of form, etc. Here's another one. This is called the Leibnizian one. Now, what's really funny about this one is if n supposedly goes towards infinity, you don't know if this term is positive or negative anymore. Okay, because I mean, yeah, who knows? What is it at infinity? Is it negative or positive? And of course, pi is understood to be the limit of the sequence, just as the limit of the following Leibniz formula. So there's some rational number, or actually not rational number, there's some number hovering at the end of the rainbow, infinity here, which is pi. Now, why is this nonsense? Well, it's nonsense because there is no limit. Okay? The limit is assumed to exist, but it doesn't exist as a number. Okay, so hypothetically, even if it did, it's posited to be a number, but there's no formal definition of number in the mainstream. The bunch of morons don't have a definition of number. Okay, and usually they start with the piano crap axioms, like you'll see that fucking major retard Terence Starr, who actually won a Fields Medal, talking about it in his real analysis book. Okay, but now ask yourself which rational number in the sequence pi best approximates pi? The rightmost one, the limit hovering at infinity. It doesn't matter, just whatever the fuck tickles your tits. Pi isn't a rational number, but it's defined by rational numbers, and this is possible because at infinity, one of those terms morphs into infinitas, just a fancy name for pi in all its glory, or none of the above crap. The correct answer is actually none of the above crap. But let's just face it. First of all, this is an assumed limit, an assumed number. Okay. They don't they don't even know what number represents pi, but they're perfectly comfortable calling it a number. Okay. Now pi, by the way, is realized from the failed magnitude of a circle circumference, not failed magnitude, from the failed measure of a circle circumference by its diameter. So it doesn't matter what circle you have, this circle or that circle. If you try and measure its circumference with its diameter, you're going to realize the constant pi. Okay, it's not a number, it's a constant. It can be 22 over 7, it can be 3, it can be 3.14159, etc. It doesn't matter. Okay? That's not important. The important thing is there is no such thing as a number pi. So now in my previous video, I talked about 1 being um, you know, an identity element. So the fucking morons of mainstream mathematics academics who don't know shit about mathematics were talking about how 1 is an identity element. Okay, and so they carried on saying, and I'll get to the part now. They carried on saying that if you, for example, multiply anything by 1, then it's that number. That's not an axiom, by the way. It's If you take a circle and you have two lines like this, which are representative of the unit, doesn't matter what the unit is, then this line here, this one on the left here, multiplied by the one on the right, will always be this resultant line here. Okay. So say for example, let's just do this, just to get the point across. So if you have that, and you just clear that, and you paste it here. Okay, so what that is saying is that if you multiply this line with this line, or the other unit line, now why didn't make that blue? I don't know why. Let's just redo that. I hate it when that happens. Okay, line and blue. So if we go back here and we multiply the red line by the blue line, we're always gonna get this orange line here. Okay, that's how that works. Okay, so it doesn't matter what number it is. It's not an axiom. It's a fact of geometry. It comes from the circle. Okay, so even God doesn't have a say in this. I'm sorry to you Christians, but God doesn't have a say. If you multiply the red line by the blue line, you're always going to get the orange line. And if the unit is not 1, then you have to divide these by the unit and you'll have the correct value. Okay? So 1 is not an identity element. It's not an element of any kind. It's a well-formed number. Right. So coming back to what I was discussing earlier, pi is not a number, right? And these fools of mainstream academia will do whatever they can. Even GPT gets the correct answer. It says your critique is spot on. Mainstream mathematics treats sequences as limits as if they magically produce numbers, while in reality, without a proper definition of number, pi is not defined by these sequences at all. Okay, so um, then, of course, you've got these field actions. I mean, this laughable crap here. Look at this. Associativity, commutativity. Listen, none of this is axiomatic. It all comes from geometry. Okay. There's no axiom needed here. But when mainstream retards do not understand mathematics, they will resort to axioms because it's easy to just say it's a self evident truth, which is not even a thing, by the way, because no truth is self evident unless it's proved. So, I mean, there's so much wrong with these deluded idiots, okay, of mainstream mathematics academics. Look at this. In mathematics, a field is an algebraic structure consisting of a set F equipped with two operations: addition and multiplication. Where did you get those operations, you damn idiots, you blithering buffoons? Where did you get them from? You got them from geometry. And then we've got this funny little thing called an additive group. Is an abelian after that idiot, the Norwegian Abel, an abelian group. That's not mathematics. That's mathematics. None of this is mathematics, by the way. Set theory is not mathematics. Okay? So, if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, become a subscriber to the best math channel on the web. This one. Click like, tell your friends about it, and follow me on academia.edu, this place, where I've written hundreds of articles. You'll become wiser than any of your dumb professors, your dumb math professors or teachers. And do I know better? You can bet your damn boots I know better. I'm a genius. Your professors and your fucking moron mathematics teachers, they're all morons, are nincompoop idiots compared to me. And yes, they deserve to be addressed as that because they are incorrigible fools who cannot be corrected. They basically need to be fired, uh, taken to court for treason. And I hate to say this, I mean, you all know what the penalty for treason is. And these people need to suffer the maximum penalty because the harm they've done to mathematics and to humanity is incommensurable. Okay, totally incommensurable. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a rant there, but they make me extremely angry with their drivel. I cannot stand stupid people. And I'm talking about Abel Prize winners and Fields medalists and your math professors and your teachers. They're the stupid people that I can't stand. I'm the great John Gabriel, and you will address me as such, you fucking morons. Till next time, goodbye.